east base. The offensive on the center base has lost momentum. Yeah, that monument's just about to go down. I think there was a power well that just got taken out as well. Just barely in time to get a light blade out, but I mean that's a tier 1 versus a tier 3 unit. It needs more support. That tremor switching targets, I guess, but not able to successfully get anything down there. Virtuoso's got Ravage on it, just barely gets taken out. Monument had 900 life left. I'm not sure, it probably could have taken it out. It had no shield, but I'm not sure if the North was paying attention at that time. South is in a world of hurt right now. Only has 1 power well in play. The North has 3. South has 150 power plus 900 void. Oh, that's the North.
Your forces are
yeah, South has approximately the same in play for a total, but much less income. Both players cold snapping in the east. Magma Hurlers versus Magma Hurlers. That's all everyone's playing on the east side right now. And there's 2 Slayers coming in towards the middle. They don't have enough life, and 1 lava field severely damages both of them. Only 50 life left on 1. So very good unit, lots of DPS, but not enough life. So any kind of splash or you know, if they're even briefly disabled, they can be focus fired down pretty quickly. Offensive there with lava field and eruption manages to take out that power well. So all they have left is their 2 starting power wells. I think this is going to run into a problem for the South. They're basically depending on power they've already collected earlier, which I don't know if that'll sustain them. Trying to go on an offensive with the Tremor, but Cold Snap to disable it, Virtuoso and Skyfire to take it down. Offensive happening by the North and the East, and it's uncontested, basically just delayed with Ice Barrier. And the offensive in the middle is taken down by a Virtuoso. So both players on the offensive, the North and the East, the South and the West, finally get around to defending their East base, and the West base also gets saved, but I didn't think that one had a... Oh no, it did manage to take 1 power well down, so not a complete waste of an offensive there. Another Virtuoso coming in on the center base of the South. Offensive lava field damages everything. Honestly, I think this is starting to fall apart for the South here. They needed to commit more in their offensives. Like right now, like he has over 100 power on hand. If he's serious about doing offensives here, you need more than just 1 giant Slayer, especially against a Frost player. You need to bring some substantial DPS to make sure you're going to take something out. These offensive lava fields and eruptions are being devastating to the buildings as well as the units. Just barely managed to save. 1 more eruption would have taken out that monument. North player has a bunch of units in play. Virtuosos, Skyfires, another Virtuoso. South has 2, one Giant Slayer and 1 Magma Hurler. And again, the North is coming down from 3 sides on them, so South is going to have a hard time defending against this, especially with the offensive spell play. Magma Hurler versus Magma Hurler, but one of them's been tainted. The South is going on an offensive. Decent sized one, 2 Magma Hurlers. But they've got a large attack coming at them, they had to disable it. Good choice with the Cold Snap. I think the South hasn't been using Cold Snap offensively very much. Both players are using it in defense, but when the South has been attacking, they haven't necessarily been using Cold Snap to disable the defending units, and that's something they should be trying to focus on, because they're not bringing enough DPS to really overwhelm. Lava Field took out those 2 defending units almost entirely. Another Magma Hurler comes in for the South. The North has been able to sustain basically all the units it's using. The South has been kind of tapering off. I'm not sure if that's a power issue or a perhaps a number of charges issue, but Another cold snap on the defense. That tremor didn't even get off one shot. I was going for that monument, didn't get to hurt it yet. And monument down for the south, and the north is still continuing that offensive. There's only about a minute left in the replay, so I'm assuming this is pretty much a good game here. Tremor used its ability, took out a power well, but that's about it. So that pretty much concludes things here. South players only got one fire monument left, and that'll get taken out in a second. It was a good game. They had an early advantage. They took out a power well that was placed in the middle by the north. They should have capitalized on that a little bit better, I think. I'm not sure how. They were playing a little bit defensively with the area ice shields, trying to taunt. Sorry, not the area ice shield, the ice shield building. And I know that's a very good defensive strategy, but it's not necessarily the best offensive strategy. And you had only 100 power advantage from taking out a power well, and you know, most of it's eaten up by placing down that building. Perhaps should have capitalized early on with an offensive after that had happened, and committed to larger offensives. I think in general, the South was doing relatively minor offensives, maybe 1 or 2 units, not necessarily supporting them once they got there with offensive spell play. The North obviously was capitalizing on that a lot. A lot of lava field interruption on the offense, cold snap on the offense. When you're playing against a Frost player, you need to do large offenses. You can't just go in with 1 or 2 units trying to take down a power well and expecting any kind of success, because even if you put in a cold snap and just focus fire a power well with 1 unit, I mean, obviously 1 ice barrier or 1 cobalt trick, and it's just a waiting game. So you really need to commit with a lot of damage against a Frost player. In this situation, it probably would have been more units, perhaps with offensive spell play whenever that shields wore off on the building. That's something I like to try and do with Shadow. I mean, you see me do it with Nasty Surprise, right? But anyways, a good match. It was definitely an uphill battle for the South. They're playing against an excellent player with full upgrades. A little bit of upgrades missing for the South, so obviously that gives you a noticeable disadvantage. Interesting play though. I like this map. Gives you a lot of opportunity to attack and defend 3 different sides on the map. Each player managed to take 1 base on the sides, so it was relatively even placement. And the center was only power well, so there was no orb advantage to holding the center. So it wasn't a ridiculously lopsided match in terms of placement or anything like that. And I think it just took a lot of time for the North to whittle away an early advantage developed by the South. A small advantage, but basically over time, superiority in numbers and offensive spell play won the game for the North. So I hope you enjoyed watching. This is MadSpartus. I think I'll have another one out today if I can, but keep on watching.